Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Rocks, and this video is a Lego autism education video. This video is going to be all about my hotel stories, and I'm using the Lego Friends Grand Hotel to be my visual prompt, which is something I realised that I need when I do videos about things. Otherwise I forget what I'm saying, and it'll help you visualise things too. So this is going to be stories of my experiences in hotels and any sensory experiences that I have dealt with. So I'm going to split this video up into different sections, because I can't fit the whole of the hotel in the frame at the same time. So we'll start off with revolving doors. Revolving doors have always been a bit of an adventure for me, because I always sort of got scared of getting stuck in the revolving door, and I used to I'm one of them people who goes oh phew, I escaped from the revolving door, because you see on movies and stuff where people get stuck in the revolving door, I'm stuck in the door. But I always get relieved when I manage to escape from a revolving door. So this story starts about French hotels and about going to France when I was little, because in the 80s when we went to France, we stayed in lots of hotels, mostly Hotel Ibis. There's also Novotel, and there's also McEwen, and they're all very nice. So we're at this reception. I think it's always because there's always brochures, and I used to enjoy the fact that there were brochures by the door, free things to read. So I'm going to switch the camera now, and I'll tell you a story about something else in this hotel. Yay! So now I've relocated to this bathroom area in this grand hotel, and this is a story all about getting to the hotel in France, and the best thing ever was it was a proper toilet, because in France in the 1980s, when we started going regularly to visit my granny and granddad, who used to live in England and then moved back to France because my granddad's French and he wanted to go back to living in France. So we had to go on family holidays to visit them, and they were fun. And one of the best things about getting to the hotel was an actual bathroom with an actual toilet, because what we actually did in France was I either went in the bushes or we had to hover over the holes in the ground, because in the 80s, until you got to a hotel, there wasn't really any proper Western style toilets. There was just bushes or holes in the ground, and I found it very difficult to aim. So I often pissed on my trainers, and I'd get really annoyed that I pissed on my trainers, because I tried really hard not to piss on my trainers, and I did, and it was so annoying. And then another thing is, the hems of my jeans, they got a bit wet too, because I couldn't not piss on myself, which is really annoying. So when we got to the hotel and we had an actual bathroom, it was such a relief to get an actual bathroom. So that's why I like hotels. And also, one of my ACDs about hotels, I am skipping time frames around a bit, so I will be saying I'm not very good at organising a script, so this isn't scripted, this just anyway, one of my OCD things is shower heads in places that aren't my home, and I get fears that there may be Legionnaire's disease in the shower head, and it might be lurking in the shower head. See, that's one of my OCD things. And hotel showers, eh? Why are hotel showers so complicated? At home you have on, off, and then hot and cold, but in the stand-up routine now. But in hotels, they make them so complicated. And also, what's up with sinks, right? You're waving your hands about pressing this, pressing that. Every hotel has a different system and you have to figure it out. Luckily, my dad often has figured out how things work in the bathroom in hotels for me. So that's a relief. What else to get in a hotel bathroom? So there was a bit when I went to the Buffy convention, I think it was, and they had things on where they have themed discos, they have decorations on the table, and I nabbed one, and it was an inflatable cactus with water in it, and I nabbed it, and it lived in the bath in my bathroom, and that was really fun. So I like hotel bathrooms when I get to spread out all my makeup, because sometimes I have a room, my own room, and I get to settle in, spread out my makeup. Not that I wear much makeup nowadays, but just settle in, and then it's just mess, because it's home. The hotel that felt most like home was the hotel room I had when I went to the Buffy convention, and that was lovely, because it was just, I got all my stuff out and just spread it all everywhere, and then the bathroom was mine, and I didn't have to worry about wiping the seat after someone else had been to the bathroom. So that's that little bathroom story. And now I'll give you another story about something else in a hotel. Yay! Hi, let's have a chat about lifts. So, or if you're American, elevators. I have a big phobia of lifts. So whenever I go in a lift, part of it is that it might fall down. Part of it is that I might walk in and there'd be no lift there, and you go and a lot of it is that, oh no, the doors won't open, we're stuck in the lift. And also a lot of it is totes orcs. How do I do the buttons? I can't find my button. Oh no, somebody else has got in the lift. Now they've pressed their button, but I haven't found my button yet. And then you get in the lift, and then it's just totally awkward. So what I've always done since I was little, I always made sure I got in the lift and got to the front of the lift, so when the doors opened again, I could just, out of the lift. So I've always been scared of lifts, but there was one time I was at a convention and a drunk person wanted to come in the lift, and I was already in the lift feeling really awkward with other people, but I had a plastic skull in my hand because it was one of the party decorations on one of the tables on it and I decided to have that. And then one of the people already in the lift said, "Oh, cool, get in, she's cool, she's holding a skull." I was like, oh, as if I was like somehow like really cool for holding a skull in the lift, and it was funny. And then there's another time I was at the convention where I met Benedict Cumberbatch, yay! And there was this woman and she was at a different function, and I had to go back up to my room, and she came into the lift and she's like, "Have you met Benedict Cumberbatch? What's he like? Oh, have you met him before?" And she just wanted to know all about me, about Benedict Cumberbatch, so that was fun. But yeah, I've always preferred, if there's like lifts and things, my parents and family will just go in the lift and I'll go look for the closest stairs and go, "Yeah, see you up there," or "See you down there, I'm going the stairs," because I don't like lifts. So now I'm going to move the camera again and tell you another story. Yay. I am now going to talk about breakfast, which is a big topic, because when I was little I hated breakfast. I was not a breakfast person, especially in hotels. It took me many years to get over my sensory disgust of breakfast, really, because I think mainly it was sort of to do with the fact that you brush your teeth in the hotel room and then there's orange juice, and the sensory fear of orange juice after toothpaste meant that I hated breakfast completely. But I realised now I could have just had maybe I could have just gone for the cup of tea first, which could possibly neutralise the fresh toothpaste, and then go for the orange juice. So I guess I've missed out on a lot of continental breakfasts. It took me ages to get used to croissants. It's ironic really, because we were in France a lot and there was always croissants, but it's only in the last maybe 5 to 6 years or so that I've acquired my taste for croissants. Maybe it was all the palaver with the butter and the jam. But yeah, so when we used to go to the hotel when it was Mum and Dad and we went to France, and with my brother obviously, I was the one who was sat there. It was also possibly to do with the fact that I can't get out of bed in the morning and that I was a grumpy sod. So I'd just sit there, grumpy as heck, refusing breakfast unless it was like a bit of a fry-up. Fry-up's fine, but continental breakfast was very difficult for me because of the clash with orange juice and my suspicion of croissants. So And then one time about breakfast is I did have a romantic weekend at a hotel, and it was actually my first experience of a convention. And when we went down in the morning after the night before for breakfast, I felt like, oh, we're doing like a grown-up thing. We're having breakfast like adults do. And I was like right nervous because I didn't want to look daft in front of the fancy man I was with. And I just thought, oh, we're having breakfast together. Oh, isn't it posh? Oh, look, there's a waitress. Oh, you come down for breakfast. Oh, and it was kind of fun. Another problem I have with breakfast is I'm rubbish at milk. When I'm at home, I have these big bowls with cornflakes in, and then I can just put it in front of this on the table or in front of the sofa where I sit, then put the milk in, and then put it back in the fridge. But even then, I still occasionally spill the milk. But in hotels, I never. It seems like you have to. I've always thought you have to put the cornflakes in, and then you put the milk in, and then you have to navigate the carrying it to the table routine, which I'm rubbish at, because distract me for like 2 seconds and the milk's pouring over the bowl and it's all over the place. It's like, A good breakfast I had at an hotel was when I was at Hollywood, and they had peaches, and I had peaches nearly every day, and they were amazing. Maize balls. They were nice peaches. I just had peaches every day, and they had this was before I went veggie. They had sausages as well. And then one morning I had these big massive waffles with miles of whipped cream and strawberries, and that was amazing. So that was a nice breakfast. That was one of my favourite breakfasts, mainly because of all the peaches. So yeah, so it did take me a while until I started liking breakfast, but now I have a regular routine of a cup of coffee and a nice bowl of cornflakes, because I really like the sensory feedback of crunchy cornflakes and nice cold milk. It's yummy. So I am now going to we'll change camera angles and I'll tell you a bit more about my romantic weekend away. It was at a convention, a Torchwood convention. So now I'll start talking about my experiences with conventions. I mean, I wasn't a total newbie geek. I've been to the memorabilia show quite a few times, but that's just a daytime thing, and you just go and you just buy loads of stuff and do the rule that I made up. That was every memorabilia I go to, I buy a cuddly toy. But anyway, this is about my first convention, proper weekend away convention, and it happened to be a romantic dalliance at a hotel with a nice man, a nice lovely looking man. And I didn't really get the convention idea until after I come home and started reading about conventions and realising that there's you don't just sit there in between talks. There is actually you can get autographs and photos with the guests, but because I was on a romantic dalliance with this fancy man, we just sat on the chairs, and basically I was just snogging him the whole time, and we just sat on the chairs in the bar, and snog, 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 snog. So I definitely sort of got me snogs in while I could, because it was very nice, so I made the most of the romantic weekend away to snog this bloke. So that's what happened when I didn't realise what a convention actually was, because I was too busy being romantic. But I had another attempt at conventioning at the a Doctor Who convention, and that was okay. That was with a mate, but I got really shy and I felt really uncomfortable, and then when I got home I cried a lot, because I had anxiety and found it hard to talk to people. And I went to the talks, I bought books, and got some autographs, and I've forgotten people's names, and got complimented on my top and got to see the Doctor Who people, and that was fun. And I got drunk on a couple of blue wickets, and that was fun. But I guess I felt really bad anxiety and found it hard to talk to people. But it was really fun because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you're Who Ventures, aren't you? You're Who Ventures." I was like, "Yeah." And then Ben Morris, the guy who does the really cool Doctor Who art, he said he said he was a fan of me and he wanted to meet me, and so one of the organisers got him to see me, and we had a little chat, and it was amazing. And he's like, he does the Doctor Who artwork. He actually wanted to chat to me. It was like, whoa. And then there's another chap is asking me if I improv my videos, and yes, the answer is yes, I do improv my videos. Pretty much everything is improv, unless I specifically state I've made notes to help me. But I will probably be doing more of these Lego videos because I'm finding it really fun, and it helps me remember all my anecdotes a lot better. So if you have any suggestions for the anecdote you want me to do when we Lego things, I shall do that. Yay. But anyway, back to the convention thing. So yeah, so the convention, the next convention after that was another Torchwood convention. So I need to just change the camera angle, and then I'll get back to saying my story about the next Torchwood convention I went to. So the next Torchwood convention I went to was with a boyfriend type person. To be honest, I find boys really difficult, so it's hard to tell when they're a boyfriend, and I get really confused, and I want to kiss them, I cuddle them, but then I get upset, and boys are difficult, but this particular convention was another torture convention, and I went to the hotel with a boy, and he would have been nice if he'd helped me with my luggage, but he's like, oh yeah, leave him to it. But I managed to get my luggage up to the room, and I managed to get to the check-in and tell them that I was here and that I was checking in, and that I went and got my convention pack. And because they hadn't had many people wanting to come to this convention, it was a really little convention, and there weren't as many people, so I actually found it a lot easier because it was more intimate. So we got that done, and then we were sharing a room, obviously. And then one morning, maybe the Saturday morning, it was time to go to breakfast, and I tried to wake up, get my partner out of the bed to go down to breakfast with me, because yay, we'll all go down to breakfast, and he wouldn't get out of bed. Fair enough. But then I got really bad anxiety about going to breakfast. I was like, so I sat and cried on the bed for about 10 minutes, but then I finally got, okay, I'm going to go down to breakfast. I got the courage to actually go down to breakfast. So went down, and then I put my back down on my seat, and then I went to get my breakfast. And it was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And the waiter came out and said, coffee or tea, and I said, tea please, and that gave me a lot more courage because I managed to do the breakfast routine on my own, and there was other people there, and I said hello to them and the other tortured conventionees, and it was pretty brilliant actually. And then that's just the first little anecdote I wanted to tell you. So now I'm going to tell you about something else, but I need to change location again. So, yay! So, my first experience of a convention disco was pretty awkward at first because I was sat with my partner and we were at the table, and I was sat down and I really wanted to dance, and I was sort of holding my clothes, like holding my skirt onto the table, and then I was like, I really want to dance, I really want to get up and dance, but the anxiety was pushing me back into my seat. And then what came on the sound system but Chesney Hawkes is my favourite, and his song is Magic, and it could just get me onto the dance floor like that, and I just ran onto the dance floor. I was like, it's Chesney, and I was dancing away. And then when you dance at convention discos, the other girls, they come and take your hand and want to dance with you, and I thought that, wow, they want to dance with me, they want me to join in, and I felt really accepted and loved, and that people wanted me there. So I had a lovely time, and I was one of the last few left on the dance floor at the end of the evening. And then they took a picture of us all us dirty stop-out stay-up lighters, and it was really fun. So that was my first experience of a convention disco. And then on the Sunday night, because there have been parties, it was like chill out party, and because it was only a small convention and there were only a few of us, we were in the room and we just sat around the table playing games. It was so much fun. I felt really comfortable and able to talk to them, and I really liked that it was such a small, intimate convention. Segue. There is a pool on the roof of this place, this Grand Hotel, but there was, I talk about swimming pools now, segue to swimming pools. I did go in a swimming pool on a roof once, and it was in Hollywood at the Holiday Inn, and it was pretty cool, and it was nice water, a nice pool. Well, it was a bit concrete, but it was a nice pool and I really enjoyed it. So I have a picture in my head of another swimming pool in a hotel, and I'm really confused because I think it might have been a dream, but it feels like it was a real hotel. Maybe we just walked past it, but yeah. So swimming pool, hotel swimming pools. My mind's gone blank a bit, actually. I don't think I've done much swimming in hotel swimming pools, really. Not sure. But anyway, I now go to... What am I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm going to tell you about blocking up the courage to ask for hugs from celebrities at conventions. Yay! So, probably have to go back down in the lift. So, what's really fun when you go to a convention is to get a picture with the celebrities. Now, this small little church convention I went to, I only managed to pick up the courage to, well, I didn't actually ask, but I was nervous, but I got my autographs and the celebrities were lovely, and then I got my picture taken with a celebrity, Olivia Helena, and I put that around her, and I was really pleased that I got a picture with her, and that was when I was still learning about how you paid for to get your picture taken, and I had the person who monitored the queue said, I'll save your place while you go get a ticket for it. So I went back to the front of the hotel and got my ticket, and then I got to have my photo taken, and I totally it eventually worked out how it all worked, and it was really fun. And because there's only a few of us, we got to have a table meet with some of the celebrities, so we got to actually chat with them up close, so that was really fun. So my next experience of convention and asking opportunities to ask celebrities for hugs was the Buffy convention, and James Masters was going to go, but he didn't make it, so never mind. But in the first, I was really nervous when I was queuing, but I managed to get a seat so I could have a sit down in the queue, and it was really nice because the queue went past these this sort of seating area, so most of the queue was sat down anyway. But I got to the front of the queue and I thought I could do hugs. That the person in front of me, they went to see him and they had a hug. So because it was Anthony Stewart Head's photo line, so when it was my turn to see him, which was, I went up to him, waggling my hands for a hug, and he burst out laughing, into complete giggles, and then I got a lovely hug with him and took myself under his chin, and that gave me the courage to think maybe they're not so scary celebrities after all. Maybe I will ask for a hug. So I got a hug with Amber Benson, and at first we were told not really meant to hug Charisma Carpenter, but after my first picture when we posed, when it was the group photo, she basically yanked me into a hug, and then Anthony Stewart had the reach over, so I put one arm out so I could try and put it around Anthony Stewart's head, but Charisma Carpenter was basically like tugging me into a hug, and it was so amazing and really, really fun. So that was like how I learned how to be more confident to ask for hugs, and you can see a lot of the pictures of my convention hugs in my Twitter header, because I'm obviously on Twitter at CuriouslyRocks. So then at the Buffy convention there was an auction, and up for auction was one of the chairs, and Amber Benson had sat on the chair. It was the director's style chair, and I went in the auction and I bid for the chair, and I was really excited and I got it, and then I was going to bid for a poster, but then I thought, oh, I spent a bit watched out, and so I stopped competing against the person who was bidding for the poster, but I was really happy I got the chair. And then at the Buffy convention, but previously at the Torchwood convention I did the auction thing and bid on a big sign thing, and my partner was angry because I was meant to be able to carry it home, and obviously I would have to cram it into my luggage and it would be awkward. But at the Buffy convention I got the chair, and luckily my dad was, my mum and dad were at the hotel, but they left me alone for one night of the hotel, and I don't know how I managed to get myself out of bed in the morning, but I obviously did. And that time I actually went to the restaurant on my own, and I was really proud, but I got a little bit upset when I was walking out of the restaurant, because I thought, oh they, I don't know why, but I thought, oh, they'll know. I showed them the room key, but they'll know who I am, I just put it on the tab. But they didn't, and they stopped me, and I had to fill a form in, and I felt a bit of an idiot. But I still managed to have tea in a hotel restaurant on my own, so I was very proud of myself for that. And another thing was that I bid, because you could bid to go and have the intimate chat, which was the celebrity chats with a small group of people. You could bid for that, and you only paid what the lowest bidder bid. So you could bid 15,000 and you'd only pay 30. So I made sure I got in for the Amber Benson. I didn't talk, and I was really, really proud because I made the effort to speak up and say stuff. I was really proud because conventions made me feel more at ease, because we're all geeks. I think the Buffy convention was lovely because I was the last one on the dance floor every evening. What I did, I was on the dance floor and dancing and enjoying myself. Then when it got to the end of the evening, I stayed on the dance floor dance floor until the last person took their foot off the dance floor. Then I won. Yay! See, that was really fun. And then the guy who was ushering people into the celebrity photos, he kept saying, "Oh, you've been dancing last night, haven't you?" And I had, and it was fun. So my Buffy convention prepared me for what did they call it? Elementary, that's it. The Sherlock convention, that was called Elementary, and it was in a hotel as well. I was a bit shy, but there was a good disco, and I knew there that I could ask for hugs, and I was like first in the line to get to have my photo with Lars Mikkelsen, and I think I was possibly the first one that day, first one like that weekend, and I was like waiting in the line. I was like, ooh, nervous because I was at the front of the line, and then when it was my turn, I went straight up to him and said, "Can I have a hug?" And I was like, "I'll hug you, I hug you, I hug you, I call you Judge." And I was like hugging him, and he hugged, and then I had to go and get in the line again because I paid for another picture with him, and then I was hugging him and decided to have a hug from the other side. So I went round the other side of him and just closed my eyes and hugged him, and forgot I was meant to be having a picture taken because I was just getting as much hug as I could out of Lars Mikkelsen, because I really loved him. As Sherlock, and I was really excited about him as Sherlock, so I made sure I got my hugs in, and I hugged Anderson, and I hugged the Arwell, and I hugged Patrick, and I hugged all of them. But when it and on a Sunday, when it was Benedict time, I was waiting in the queue, and I was like, I couldn't. I was just getting really excited, and then it was my turn for the photo, and I squeezed him, and he giggled a bit, and that picture's on my Twitter header too. And when you go to the photos at conventions, it's really fun because there's the photographer guy says, "Come in for me, Mum, smile for me, Mum, thanks, Mum," and then, "Come in for me, sir, smile for me, sir, thanks, sir, come in for me, Mum," and it's so fun. It's like, yay, it's so fun, and it's really efficient, and he does a really good job at the photos, because if the photos are wrong or you blinked or something, he says you can take it again, and sometimes if you did blink you can get extra photos too, but don't blink on purpose for extra photos because that's just holding up the line. But it is really fun. So now I have that pretty much brings you up to date on conventions. I probably will go to some more conventions, but I don't know, I'm not sure yet. So yeah, I prefer hotels for conventions because it's really easy and everything's in one building, and all the people looking after the rooms and doing the food are professionals, and everything's all prepared because that is the point of the building. So that's why I like hotels, and that's why I wish Artscape could be in hotels, because it's so much easier, because you get a full bedroom with nice ensuite and you get all the facilities, and some hotels have conference rooms, but we need a lot of help from the government to afford to book a hotel each year. So if anybody wants to help Artscape get nice posh hotels, that would be amazing. Anyway, I have another little story for you, and then I think maybe I'll put the video together and see. and then if I have anything else to say, I will perhaps do a part 2. So now let me just cover it again. There is something I forgot to say about hotel bathrooms, is that I always get nervous about the sink water, about when you go to brush your teeth and you don't know what the sink water is going to taste like. That is a sensory difficulty in hotel bathrooms. So this little anecdote is about a college trip I went on, and it's really weird because I have some complete blanks in my mind about some of it. So it was a college trip to go look at art stuff, and I shared a room with 2 other people, and on this trip I was told that when I'm asleep I sound like a cat. So that was interesting information. And also at the college trip, I was actually the first out of bed each morning because I was worried we were going to be late at that, and I wanted to get in the bathroom first so I could feel that it was all clean and I wouldn't have to wait for the other 2 girls I was sharing with to complete their bathroom activities. So out of pretty much anxiety really, I made sure the other girls got out of bed in the morning and that we were all ready on time. So that was something I managed. Yeah, I just don't remember the food. It's so weird. It's like, what? Maybe no. I guess when we were in Covent Garden, we went, maybe I had chips. I don't know at all. It's just weird. But yeah, so I actually managed to get myself up for the Buffy convention and get 2 other people up and ready in time for something else, which is mainly anxiety driven rather than yay, let's get up in the morning when it's still bright. Although I did get up early this morning so I could vote in the EU referendum. So, yay. This was the trip where I bought pick and mix sweets on the way to London, and then I had them all week, and then I spent my food money on a rainbow beaded curtain because I'd seen one in Just 17 in the 90s, and I found one in Camden Market and it was like I had to literally get all my 1p's together to be able to afford this beaded curtain, and then that meant I didn't have any food money for the trip home, so I saved my pick and mix sweets. I just ate those on the way home because I really wanted this beaded curtain because it had been like a dream since I'd seen them at Just 17, and I thought it was this magical item that I realise now that you could probably just go on the internet and just get one, but I thought it was this magical holy grail discovery and I was so excited. So that's what I got on the trip to London. But the weird thing about this particular college trip is I don't remember any of the meals. I got through the week obviously, but I don't remember. I remember like some of the places we went and that we went on a big bus, but I don't remember how I my food intake on this trip at all, apart from the fact I had penny sweets. I don't know if I had sandwiches in the bedroom, but just don't remember my food intake. It's just really weird. But it was a pretty fun trip, because the art teacher found me 2 people to be friends with, and he let me go off to Forbidden Planet when everybody else went to the portrait gallery, and I just let me go off shopping at Forbidden Planet in what sort of under the guise of research, but I didn't really have a clue what I was doing for my art project. But I just went to shops. That was fun. And the 2 friends he put me with were really fun. So he made sure I had fun on that trip, even though I was still really shy. So I think that's probably all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to put this video up, and I hope you really all like it. And if you have any more questions about hotels, then please do send me them in, but send them in pretty quick, because I want to take apart the Lego Friends Grand Hotel now, because I'm busy building some of the modular stuff, and then I'm building Ghostbusters, the big the fire station, but I'm going to turn that into something else after I built the original design. I'm going to make something else in that building. So yeah, I sort of need the room on my Lego area for other things, so I want to take apart the hotel. So if you want me to do any more hotel based stuff, then get your questions in pretty quick, or I could possibly figure out how to make a different hotel or different buildings. So yeah, so I really hope you have enjoyed this. I really hope you have enjoyed this storytelling anecdote thing about hotels. I really enjoyed it, and it was fun. So thank you for watching this video, and yay!